even if our elementary schools, and again, I'm sure Glenbard, seeing the nodding that you guys have, it would be a great opportunity to start working together with all of you, with the prospects. Those kids will eat this up, and they will learn real life skills and be excited about that if they have those opportunities.
Yeah, I think it's critical. So and I'm going to tell you what we're doing at Chamber, is that the U.S. Chamber Foundation has put out a request for a program for a $95,000 grant to create a career readiness lab. So the Chamber is submitting that on Monday. And the goal is really to start engaging our high school students and middle school to actually go into the manufacturing plants, job shadow, internships, so that the education that they're receiving, they can understand very clearly the reason why they're in those classes. I think for me, the break or the disconnect is that we have education here, we have business leaders over here, and I just think it's human nature that we all sort of get into our own tunnel. And the goal really is to bridge the gap so that here in Carroll Stream, we are narrowing that skills gap, and we are saying to our business leaders and our educators, let's work together, and let's give your students the opportunity to job shadow, internship. Let's give our 8th graders the ability to tour 2, 3, or 4 different plants here in Carroll Stream. To understand what is behind these walls. Because no one really knows what's going on behind the wall. So we have Royal Dye and Stamping, which is a $6.2 million company. I mean, they're huge. And it's a fascinating place because they're doing dye and stamping for the automotive industry, and clean as a whistle, a lot of activity going on. But if we don't expose our young adults and our 8th graders to what those possibilities are in terms of learning the STEM skills, how does that apply? So if a kid is going through Royal Dye and Stamping and says, wow, this is really cool, now I understand what the science, the technology, the engineering, the math means in terms of a skill set, and I really want to work at Royal Dye and Stamping in this particular division because I like to take raw pieces of metal and figure out how do I do the cutouts for the dye that goes in a car, because it is a fascinating process. And I think that's where the disconnect is. I think it's the fact that our children have not been exposed to what's really what's going on inside of our plants. We have a strong manufacturing presence here in Carroll Stream, and there's opportunity. I mean, the reality is for all of us, there's opportunity. So we're taking the lead on that. And that's why I think it's important that we have these conversations, because it's really figuring out together how do we best bridge the gaps so that we can show other communities in Illinois that yes, we have this statistic that everyone talks about. There's 30,000 skilled labor jobs that haven't been filled in the state of Illinois, and at some point I say, you know what? Let's just figure out what we can do here in Carroll Stream and not worry about what's going on in the rest of the state. So if we can have this model that will work, and I'm convinced it will, then we have just taken the lead. And what it says to our employers is, you have a workforce that has developed the skills that you're looking for, so that when you go to hire, you know you have in your own backyard employees. It says to the children and young adults, the skills that I'm being taught in school actually are transferable in the real world, so I can get a job, and I don't have to worry, like Kathleen is talking about her nephews who are saying, okay, I know I don't want to go the college route, but I want to do something with my hands, but I don't have the skills, so now what do I do? And it tells the educators that the impact the education that their curriculums have on our children, is that we are now able to say, this is what the real world looks like. To have these skills in today's economy, you can